Welcome, everyone, to this edition of Rossiter's Ringside Report. I'm Mark Chang. I'm joined by the head coach of the Annandale Boxing Program, Leo Rossiter. And in tonight's episode, we're going to talk about some fights coming up in the area, as well as the legendary career of Dwight Muhammad Qawi. Leo, I'll let you start things off.
Yes, Dwight Muhammad Qawi fought, for those who may have missed previous episodes, I'm a Baltimore boxer. I came out of Baltimore, Maryland. I fought Mac Lewis's gym. And one of my stablemates there, really good friend of mine, Lewis Butler, brother Lewis, fought Dwight Muhammad Qawi twice. And actually, Dwight came down here and he beat up everybody in Baltimore. He beat up Johnny Wilburn. He beat up Biff Klein. Well, Biff Klein's not really Baltimore. He's D.C., but you know how close the two cities are. And then he got decisions over Lewis Butler. Now, he fought Lewis Butler twice, and in both occasions, Lewis Butler lost by split decision. And this, he died, I forget the date that he died. I should have, I was talking about it, I should have known more about it, but
July 25th.
July 25th, thank you.
of this year.
He passed, and I thought that he would be buried up in New Jersey. There were some things I didn't know about Mr. Qawi, is that he was actually born in Baltimore, Maryland. And his family moved to Virginia, and that's where he spent his elementary school years. And then from there, they moved up to New Jersey, where he went to high school. I believe it was Camden. And Lewis had maintained some, I don't know if he maintained contact with Dwight or not, but he maintained contact with his sister, who still lives in Baltimore. So he wasn't sure where he was going to be buried in New Jersey or in Baltimore. Well, it turned out to be he was buried in Baltimore, and he notified me of it. I think it was the day of, and I lived 3 hours away from there, and then trying to get dressed and everything and get down there. And I had a full day of work, and unfortunately or fortunately, I'm still alive and have to pay the bills. If I'd had a day or two notice, I would have been able to make it to the funeral. And I feel bad now. I really feel bad I didn't make it, because Lewis said there were only 3 boxers at the funeral: himself, Kenny Blackstone, and Marvin McDowell. And all 3 of them are Baltimore boxers. And Kenny's a young guy, so I don't know if he was even boxing back when Dwight Muhammad Qawi was boxing. But Marvin McDowell was. Me and Marvin fought on a lot of the same cards together, and he's definitely a boxing guy. But it's sad that this guy held the WBC light heavyweight championship. He held the WBA cruiserweight championship, inducted into the Boxing Hall of Fame, International Boxing Hall of Fame, back in 2004. And only three fighters show up. 3 boxers showed up to pay their respects for him. And I'm full of shame right now that I didn't make it. So, Mark, this Lewis got this for me at the funeral, and knowing that you were such a big fan of his, this is yours next time I see you. This is there's some nice pictures on the back. I think it's a nice little thing for your boxing portfolio. Now, the next I want to jump into will be the shows coming up. The first show coming up is next Saturday, September 13th, is Baltimore Boxing. Jake Smith is putting on a show. in Westminster, Maryland. Then Mac Lewis's gym is having a boxing match September 27th. And then Knowledge Boxing of Southern Maryland is holding a show October 4th in Leonardtown, Maryland. So on the other two shows, the Mac Lewis and the Knowledge Boxing in Southern Maryland, we'll be reporting more on those as we get closer to those dates. But right now, we're going to focus on next Saturday. And next Saturday at Westminster, the show's going to start at 4:15, so that'll leave time for people to get home to watch the Canelo fight. Now, the main event of this is Edison Rios. You may have heard that name. Edison Rios versus the champion, Mark Gobelowski. That's for the Maryland State Middleweight Championship. This fight has the makings of a barn burner. I mean, an all-out fight of the century for amateurs. Edison Rios, anybody that knows him, seen him fight, this kid is a tough, hard-nosed character. He's going to come straight at you and give you everything he's got. The champion, Mark Gobelowski, with a name like that, you know the kid can fight. He's really good boxer, and it's going to be the stylistic boxer against the hard-hitting slugger. I can't wait for this. I'm foaming at the mouth. This, for local boxing fans, could actually eclipse the fight between Canelo and
Crawford.
How did I, man? Whoa! So you know who I'm not rooting for. So yeah, they may even have to order extra chairs for the popularity of this fight. This fight's going to be a good one. Everybody I know is coming, and and they're putting the pro fight, the Canelo fight on hold. That's on the back burner. Everybody wants to see this one. And for this to charge up people like that, have that much enthusiasm for an amateur fight. These kids, these two guys, they have definitely proven themselves to the fans. So with that, this is a great fight. I mean, this is going to be a great kickoff for the Canelo fight. You got a few words about that one?
Yeah. So Edson Rios, I'm not familiar with the other guy who's fighting, but Edson Rios, I can definitely attest. He's very, very tough fighter. I've actually gone a few rounds with him just in the gym, and I can tell you he's no walk in the park. So it's going to be tough. The Baltimore boxing promotions, they always have these great fights on, whether it's at Columbus Gardens, whether it's at the AG Center. It's probably the best entertainment value on the dollar that you can really get, because you get a lot of fights and they're all very competitive. So I wish to both of them, all the best. Hopefully it's a great fight, nobody gets injured, and the right guy gets the decision. But moving on to Canelo Crawford, which is your question. So I think I've kind of alluded to this in previous episodes that I know the majority of the people think that Canelo is, based on Crawford's previous performance, that Canelo is just going to be too hard of a puncher. But we also have to remember that Canelo couldn't catch William School in their previous fight, and he basically won because he's pushing forward and William School is moving back, trying to avoid the exchanges. But Crawford is going to be every bit of elusive as William School is, perhaps even more so. And he's going to be punching back, and he can fight orthodox, he can fight southpaw, and really what kind of tips the scales for me is that when you look at them, yeah, Canelo's heavier, but he's not bigger. Crawford has the better quality size. And what I mean by that, not just he's a little bit taller, but he has the longer frame. He's got the longer reach, the longer legs. Canelo just has a lot of bulk, and that muscle tends to wear you down. So you're basically, whether it's fat or muscle, your heart has to pump blood through all those cells, those tissues, whatever you want to call it. But Crawford has the more quality size, if you will, even though he's moving up in weight. And chances are he's been straining himself to get down to that low weight class anyway. So based on that, the only thing that I hesitate to make a prediction on is that Canelo does have the better quality experience against much higher level of opposition. That being said, if you force me to pick, I would kind of lean towards Crawford. But Leo, what do you think of that fight?
I'm going to give you a barroom analogy. There was a friend of mine. He was always getting in fights. He was about 220 pounds, and he wasn't, that tough. He wasn't that skilled, but he was tough. And his cousin had a karate school, so he's sitting in the dressing room of the karate school, and this young kid comes up and, was, I don't know, brown belt or something, and was saying how he could, do this to him and do that to him. And this other guy in the corner said, "Look, kid, that guy is 40 years old. He's been in the bar room for the past 20 years getting hit over the head with beer bottles and chairs. You ain't got a chance." Canelo's fought the tougher guys. He's fought the stronger guys. He's used to getting hit on. And that was the analogy for that kid. This guy's used to getting hit. You've never been hit, So, not that Crawford has never been hit, but he hasn't been hit with the quality of opposition that Canelo has. And I just take it that, Canelo's used to getting beat on by bigger, stronger opponents. And I picked Mr. Canelo. That's why I couldn't remember Crawford's name. It was...
No, understandable. I think what really decides this for me is Canelo's last fight in that he wasn't able. Yeah, he punches harder. I didn't say Crawford was going to stop Canelo, but the fact that Canelo wasn't able to catch Williams' school and Crawford being that much slicker, that's what makes me lean towards Crawford. But again, it's very hard to predict because, like you said, Canelo does have the better quality experience. Getting back to the Dwight Qawi thing, I too am really bummed that I missed that funeral. Honestly, he was one of my favorite fighters. One of the reasons I got into boxing, because at the time he was fighting, boxing was on just network TV, and he had some great fights. I mean, he fought, in addition to Lewis Butler, he fought Mike Rossman, he fought James Scott, he fought Matthew Saad Muhammad. I think they fought twice. I mean, he fought everybody, and he was winning these fights. And he wasn't a big guy. He didn't have a long reach, but he wasn't a big guy. And it was just so impressive to watch him ply his trade. And I'm about 5 hours away, but I would have, knowing that, I would totally gone. And honestly, the reason I didn't go because I thought a guy of that caliber would have attracted so many people that you wouldn't have even gotten into the building, literally, and I would have just driven 5 hours to kind of stand 2 blocks away just to sort of have been there. Had I known this, there'd been no question I would have gone that, but you didn't know that. There is one other thing I want to make mention of in the upcoming shows, and we did mention this in the last episode. Jeddah Promotions is having a show in on September the 20th. That's in 2 weeks. And I believe that's at Rosecroft Raceway in Peachey County, Maryland. That's a pro show. Those events are also, I've heard, always good things. Never been to one, but those I've always heard of very competitive matchups. You get a number of fights on the card. So that's September 20th in Rosecroft Raceway. With that, Leo, any closing thoughts?
Well, I got the best seat in the house for the Rios Gobolowski fight.
You do.
That's my closing words. That's my fight. And that's my closing words.
All right. Well, like I said, good luck to everybody on the show, and thank you all for watching. We'll see you on the next episode.